Mr. Dimples, what does it feel like to push out an egg?
Oh, yeah, it's so exhilarating, It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's Sheila, can you describe it? I don't know if I can describe it. Yeah,
Is it like taking like one of those dumps that goes sideways? That feels like it's coming out sideways.
Nobody needs to.
Can you believe you said that? Yeah, you're done. You're gone too far, dude. I got a monitor I can see.
Yeah, exactly. You're going.
Lady! As if I'm Jerry Lewis. I'm not really Jerry Lewis. Lady!
Do you think anybody knows who Jerry Lewis is anymore? You're going to say Jerry Lewis and everybody's going to go,
what the heck was that?
the telethon, remember? They won't even look. We were talking about that the other day, that like Gen Z, they don't even know what the actual thing is. They just know the memes. They're just like...
Oh, yeah. They haven't watched any of it.
They don't know what anything is.
They just know the good parts that got made into memes.
Yeah. They read the Wikipedia.
Gen Z is just not... They don't get me. I don't think they've gotten me yet.
You don't think so?
No, well, I was at the Moondog, the Meadery, which is it's a pretty good open mic. I've been there last Sunday. I'm going to go back tomorrow. But there were some Gen Z kids back there, and they were like, huh? Mr. Dimples tells a joke that kills, like the opening joke, that kills every time.
Yeah.
You can...
They're just...
Some dude I got this guy to come up to wear the mask, and he just...
Really? People love the mask thing.
And he didn't do anything.
Was he just grumpy?
I think I don't know what was
just
wrong.
Sometimes you just get a bad crowd, right?
That's right. And sometimes you get a bad crowd. Sometimes you get, and that's what I'm learning, not to be too discouraged
if they don't
in these cases, because I've seen comedians, like this one girl, she kills it every time with the Dirty Bull, but when she was at the Meadery, she bombed. So I said, I don't feel so bad because she is funny as heck.
And
I know I'm funny, and so, it's the crowd. Okay. They were all Gen Zs. Nothing wrong with Gen Zs. I'm sorry.
Well, except
Gen
that
Z,
they're
we
insecure,
love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what I've noticed too, it's not even, I mean, they are insecure about other things, but they're often insecure about stuff that they don't know.
Right.
And I think that because they haven't had a lot of experience, that sometimes those jokes just kind of go over their head.
Yeah,
and they don't get the context.
If they have to think before they laugh. So all of a sudden, you put something that they don't know about or that they've never seen. They're like, can I laugh? Do I laugh? Do I not?
They don't know if they're allowed to laugh.
Mr. Dimples...
Are they allowed to laugh? That's the key.
Exactly. That's what it is. And Mr. Dimples is hilarious, but he can get a little saucy, Yeah. Which is what I love about Mr.
Well,
Dimples.
and what's your joke, Arturo? It's okay to laugh, even if you identify as white.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, we're all here to laugh. Isn't that what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
But that's interesting because I feel like, when I told my son that we had a ventriloquist on the podcast, he got excited. And I think I mentioned you when he was little, he really wanted to go into ventriloquism. Yeah. And I squashed that idea. Because he wanted that scary puppet. Didn't I tell you? The one, he's got the combed over hair and he wears a little suit and bow tie. And he's got freckles. And I don't like him. He's scary.
Well, that's true, because I've been doing a lot of study in ventriloquism, the history of ventriloquism, and ventriloquists get a bad rap because of old movies. There have been movies made in the 40s and 50s which precipitate that type of spooky type of stuff,
Like it's
I'm
a horror
alive.
character.
I'm really alive. I'm Jerry Lewis in a puppet. So, I'm sorry.
But there's nothing upsetting about Mr. Dimples.
Yeah, I mean, he's so... And how that one comedian, God bless her, I won't mention her name.
What happened?
Well, we were at the Dirty Bull. It was when we were under the tent. It was COVID, and it was the heaters, and everybody was in sweaters. As a matter of fact, I think it was the first time I met both of y'all. It was the first time I saw Arturo do a set.
Yeah.
And I'm in the video, and I'm...
in the tent. Yeah. You were not ready.
Yeah.
Bro was ready to come out of Arturo at the time.
I know. And I was like, oh, dear God.
What?
Anyway, and
he's a lot to take, too, just like Mr. Dimples. Sometimes.
Well, she came on after Arturo, and she said, lovely lady, I know you're really sweet and stuff, but your puppet freaks me out.
Oh no.
And I was like, and it was like, I felt like saying,
you kind of fucking freak me out.
yeah, you freak me out. Your jokes anyway. But I took it in stride and I just went, fake laughing all the way.
Is that your fake laugh? That's
So you may have to cut that out. In Britain,
we don't know any names. We don't know any names.
Well, in Britain, in the UK, that's like the middle finger.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it is.
funny.
So like that.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to. I didn't spit in the mic.
No, you're good. I mean, we've literally said names of people. I myself am a habitual offender.
The last guy that we had on here, he was first and last names all over the place, and I was like, first and last names, huh? And he goes, it's fine. I was like, okay, if that's what you
Okay.
if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's your funeral.
Well, it depends on if that you need help from that person, I suppose.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
We're not trying to make any enemies.
Talk, yeah. I thought you were going to do the funny stuff. Yeah, if you don't do the funny stuff, we're going to put you in some cement shoes. Yeah.
Now, the Gen Zs won't get that either.
You need cement shoes, definitely.
Yeah.
Sleeps with the fishes, eh?
Yeah.
You need a puppet that's like a mobster puppet. Maybe you have a stogie.
I was thinking about getting, as I make more money, I'm going to do like every other ventriloquist when I get more money, make my own or commission somebody to make my own, because Mr. Dimples was made by Steve Axtell of Axtell Expressions. Steve, good job, Steve.
Yeah.
And so if I get more famous and popular, what I'll have to do eventually, if I want to make T-shirts and stuff like that, is sign a licensing agreement with him.
Okay.
I'll pay a licensing fee, and then I'll be able to just use them.
On
regular.
your T-shirts and things like that.
T-shirts
On your
like
merchandise.
That. On merchandise. So I can't do merch right now because I don't have.
But that's why then some of them or a lot of them make their own, so they don't have to license it.
So they don't have the middleman. You cut out the middleman. But Steve, I just want to give a shout out to Steve Axtell. It was brilliant. He made a puppet for Darcy Lynn, Sile Michaela puppet. He did a LeBron James puppet. He does custom work. So it could be that I could say, okay, could you maybe customize me a Mr. Dimples?
I mean, I think Simon Cowell turned into a puppet from his latest surgery,
Oh, God. Oh, I heard about that.
Have you seen him?
No.
He's looking
He looks like he's still turning fully puppet, like,
full-on puppet.
Shiny and everything.
I thought it was a filter from like one of the apps.
No, it's a filter from surgery, I think.
Oh, God, no. Please, Simon Cowell, I hope you didn't do that.
He's like,
you got to keep it subtle, you know? We got to age gracefully.
Yeah.
Not like a
age
puppet.
comes for all of us,
Well, I'm curious then.
Yes.
If it's tremendously hard to make these puppets.
Yeah.
Have you tried your hand at it?
No, I haven't. I need to get a 3D printer.
Okay.
So that would be the first step, is get a 3D printer. Mm-hmm. It would probably be a vinyl puppet. So I'll probably do that to start with.
Okay.
There are other companies. There's a company called Puppets.
Puppets with a Z?
Puppets, S, Puppets. Sorry, that one. But they have they make special puppets. There is Pavlov's puppets.
Pavlov's puppets.
Yes, Pavlov's puppets.
Yeah.
And they're over in the UK. And so the only issues I won't have are the masks, and that's Collini puppets. Now I'm giving plugs to three.
Well, so tell me though, Steve Axtell, is he in the United States?
Yes, he's in the United States. He was living in Los Angeles, and now Steve Axtell has met Jim Henson.
Yeah,
and he made puppets that were similar to Jim Henson, but Jim Henson told him and said, "Look, make your own puppets. Make it your own."
Right.
In other words, go in
find
there,
your own.
find your own. And Steve Axtell draws and designs all the puppets, and he creates them, and he has a crew to help make them. So, and he's worked with all kinds of people that just would amaze you. Terry Fader. He's worked with all of the greats.
Yeah. Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham. He's worked with I can't believe it, Darcy Lynn. So things like that. So he's a icon in the biz, so to speak. So he's but yeah, he's just a genius, and he's a nice guy and his family. So they moved from California to Tennessee because
that's closer.
They got a deal with Dolly Parton and Dolly World,
yeah.
Dollywood. and they have animatronics tools, so I could take Mr. Dimples, put him on one of those animatronics, and it would move his mouth. I could be over here, like I could be over there, and I could have my little phone, and I could do the voice.
Yeah.
So so Dollywood, they created a theme park or a portion of it, like
a ride or
his animatronics and his puppets.
Yeah.
And he has his puppets in there's this chicken restaurant somewhere. He's got his animatronics and the little and his chickens up there, and
That's awesome.
So he's just really brilliant. He's a good guy. His wife is wonderful. They used to have a auction on Thursdays, and that's where I got Zelda and Stella, the ones because they would make them funky and then auction them off.
I see.
On that Thursday, and I got that.
Way to get a funky puppet.
Yeah, but I'm in the power buyers club because I've bought at least 10 puppets from them.
Yeah. So I'm curious. All right, then, if making a puppet of your own is the goal, you're gonna need to get a 3D printer. The puppets I know you mentioned are terribly expensive.
Yeah.
Like, so if you were able to purchase that equipment, like hold off buying another puppet and instead purchase the equipment, then you could start pumping out your own puppets.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy another puppet
for a while. Well, you got that great Joe Biden one. I mean,
yes,
Mr.
and that's another Steve Axtell, brilliant. I mean, in the craftsmanship, and I remember seeing it because
absolutely,
I don't know.
It looks just like him.
It looks just like him, and I don't know if I told y'all this, but it's in the disc file. But I met Joe Biden twice in person on the campaign trail. And on the first time, I thanked him for the work he did on the Affordable Care Act. Because
he gave you a hug.
Yeah,
right?
he gave me a hug, and there's a picture there.
It's fantastic.
And it was like, okay, I did send it. Yeah. And I was like, Joe Biden knows who I am. And so we kept in contact for a whole year through Vince Evans, who used to be Kamala Harris's chief secretary.
That's awesome.
But then he retired, Vince Evans. And so and the reason why, and I'm going to say this, documented, I sent Vince Evans emails to him. I said, okay, Mr. President, you need to tell him that us cashiers are, it's not just the medical professions. Mm-hmm. We're doing this with hard work too, blah, 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 blah.
Standing on your feet all day, stuff like
all
that.
All that, and dealing with COVID. The night he got the nomination, or the night before when he was in Philadelphia, one of those nights, he said, and we'd like to, and by the way, all of the cashiers at the grocery stores, and I even think he said SHEE-LUH or whatever, our friends in the. So I was thinking, possibly,
absolutely, yeah.
So
somebody's got to listen.
Somebody's got to.
By the way,
then there was a newspaper article. I'm sorry,
go ahead.
But then there was a newspaper article that NBC Online did. Siteswaltz did the article, and at the end, I told my story, and it was published, and so they thanked me for that, and so they were really, really, really good. So,
what's the story that you told them?
Well, I told them about how the Affordable Care Act helped me, and how I was able to do some changes in my life.
Yeah,
I was able to make some changes.
Very tongue in cheek, very coy.
Yeah, very. And how that helped, and so that was. They were so indebted to me for that. They were like, wow, thank you. And so the second time I saw Joe Biden, we were just shaking hands, and he, no words, just, because I told him, I said, hey, I'm the one that did that article thing, lady. And so, but anyway, and it was just a moment of just silence and quiet, so, and then I'll never forget this one guy said, hey, lady, this isn't the press corps. Come on, get out of here. This isn't the press corps. Some person who wanted a picture. So anyway.
Well, you were having an intimate moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like what?
How many chances are you going to get?
Exactly. This is never going to potentially ever happen again.
The president of the
free world.
The free world was right here. And
what did he smell like?
Oh, he smelled good.
He smelled good? I got to think about how people smell. I want those people that I meet to smell as good as I imagine.
He didn't smell bad.
Yeah.
He didn't have that old man smell.
That's what I'm talking about.
He didn't have the old man smell. but he had the but it was like just
like aftershave,
right,
or
right,
like what?
right here,
Yeah.
right here.
Oh.
But aftershave, not really aftershave. It was kind of like he wasn't like a corrosive brute user. He didn't use like
okay.
brute and he didn't sparkle it all over.
Yeah.
You know, he just he was
He smelled nice. So
subtle.
Subtle. Okay.
subtle.
Like
He smelled like my dad.
Aw.
And
That's
my dad,
a good comforting smell to have a good nice
Yeah.
moment with somebody with.
well, you know what? It's funny you should mention that.
What?
But my dad had passed away 2 years prior to that. And I hugged him like I hugged my dad. And I'll never forget what my dad said the last time I hugged him. He said, we'll see you later, sweet thing. And so my dad never used to call me sweet thing before.
That's interesting.
So anyway,
Yeah, I read on your blog that
we're
that made you
dancing,
feel,
ain't we? We're dancing.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it was
made you feel accepted,
Yes.
right? Like
like I felt like finally, here's this retired 96-year-old dad who grew up during World War II, who fought in World War II.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't really fight; he was stateside, but still, anyway. But it was just great, and
He
so
protested World War II.
well, he was in flight school. He was being
Yeah.
trained. But
Just because he
but
missed the action
yeah.
doesn't mean he wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
and so that's what the article was
willing,
about.
yeah.
How you reminded me of my dad.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like for a moment I was transported, and that's why you saw tears in my eyes. And anyway, so
An amazing moment, and obviously you had something to say to him. You were
yeah,
grateful, and
yeah,
I think that's great. I mean, I think that you had your special moment, and a lot of people never get that.
No.
A lot of people never get to thank somebody for things that they've done for them. I've thought about it now in my life, and the stuff that I can look back on that I recognize now as ways that people helped me that I didn't notice at the
Yeah.
time. Sometimes you go forward and you never get that opportunity to say thank you. So good for you.
thank you.
It's amazing.
And especially the President of the United States.
Absolutely.
The guy running for
Are
the
you kidding
president
me?
to
He's
thank.
hella famous.
And so I think that this one lady, she was, she said, "Girl, you're on your way to superstardom. First you met Joe Biden, then you met so-and-so, and then you're on your way, girl."
And then you were on the Manly Girly podcast.
I know, dang it. Y'all forgive me, but I just got through watching a couple hours worth of Robin Williams on TV shows, so I might get a little.
We watched something. Yeah, we watched
Really?
the Birdcage
Oh,
literally
that was so
last
funny.
night. We fell asleep during
That
it,
was
but
such a
I've seen
good
it so
movie.
many times.
To forgive Hank Azaria. He's so
Yeah.
talented. Like, listen, that's called acting.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
so
so good with the accents.
Arturo mentioned to me that he was like, not only is he playing a gay character, but he's supposed to be a Hispanic gay character.
Yeah.
And he is neither Hispanic nor gay.
Yeah.
He's great.
He did a fantastic job.
He was perfect. It was right on.
Yeah,
Is Al
absolutely.
Pacino not supposed to do Scarface now? I love that movie.
Yeah.
Did you see The Last of Us?
No, I did not.
Did you hear about it?
No, I did not. What's
Oh
that
my
about?
gosh,
Oh,
you-
you got to tell me.
Well, so everybody's talking about it. It's this show that's based on a video game. I don't really know anything about the video game, but the show itself, you don't have to have seen the video game. It's so interesting and poignant. It's about. It's zombies, yeah, which you would think is like, oh, another zombie show, but it's really not. And then the third episode, if there's any episode that you don't watch any of the rest of the season, you should watch that.
Okay.
Because it was heartbreaking. I cried 3 times. The entire nation has been crying. You need to watch it. I don't want to spoil anything for
Okay,
you. So
yeah,
you
don't-
can't even watch. I won't spoil
And what's
it for
it
you.
called?
The Last of Us. I'll
The
text it
Last
to
of
you.
Us. Okay, yeah, text me the link to
Yeah,
that. Oh, I'll have to
because-
see that.
And then we got to talk about it because I think that you'll really like it. I mean,
Okay.
Last of Us, Casa De Thinking.
yes,
Yeah.
for real. What are zombies?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's talk about ventriloquism. I apologize.
Oh no. This is fun. This is fun. I'm having a great time.
Okay.
And
I have a question for you.
yes, go ahead.
And I think many people want to know, like, Sheila, is that French kiss? I always see that they butcher your name whenever you
Every
go
time.
on stage. Like, it's always like, Sile, like. it's
Did you hear
always-
me? A couple.
Nobody, unless they know you, ever gets it right.
Even if they know you,
Yeah.
if they know you, it seems like because the last time it was like 2 weeks ago at Dirty Bull, and they called your name, and I was like, "You mean Sheila?"
I heard that. I heard you, and you're on the videotape on many of the
Good.
laughs. I could hear you on the videotape
Well,
of the one.
We love you.
Well, it was when I had an adult in North Carolina. You can only get one legal name change, adult legal name change.
Is
Total.
that right?
That's
in your
it.
life?
Forever. For life. That's
If
a
you're
law.
a resident here?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's say that you were let's say you were born here. You were in Arturo. You wanted to change your name. What you could do. Let's say you had a name. Let's name in a past life you're wearing the wig. Your name was Zoe, and then all of a sudden you change it to Arturo. But then you go back to Zoe. You're stuck with your name Zoe.
Oh, I see.
Go to another name.
No.
So I'm curious if it has to do with residency. Can you set up residency like in another state and go change your name there?
You could.
Okay.
You could do
So
that.
you
I
could
mean,
move. You're like, that would be some serious commitment
Yes.
to move and change your name, and plus that make you seem like a serial killer.
but I was able to bypass that law.
Why?
Because it was proven, and this is a documented First Amendment right case, which nobody really knows about or talks about. I was the first of two very special women who had their adult legal name changed twice.
Okay.
And we were able to prove that it was a violation of my First Amendment right to wanted speech. That, in other words, it was causing me trouble to go back to another name I had, my birth name. And so we won. So they said, it was an organization in New York City which foot the bill.
Nice.
The number one of the top 5 law firms in the world helped me do it. And they said, make up a name that will be unforgettable. And so I said, I'm Irish. That's my heritage. Scandinavian Irish. Sheila or Sile. What? That looks so cool.
It does
accent
look-
over
it's
the
got an
eye.
Accent, yeah.
Yes. When I get famous, Sheila.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize that everybody's going to say, Sile. SHEE-LUH. Yeah, every Tom,
SHEE-LUH?
Dick, and Harry that walks through the door, get it? That's a joke, SHEE-LUH. So
I love that
I
one.
used that joke in 2014. So
I like it. I think you
Thank
should bring
you.
it back. It's hilarious.
I know. Well, Mr. Dimples can say that. So,
Yeah.
but it
Maybe
was,
he should call you Sheila.
Maybe he should. SHEE-LUH. Yeah, every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walked in the door. So, and there aren't many of us out there.
No, apparently. Well, I mean, being, an Andy also.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
It's the first 3 letters of the word silent. Now, here's another joke I made up when I went to the Idiot Box in 2014 for the first time in a long time. I think it was, so why did you get the name Sheila, S-I-L-E, spelled S-I-L-E? And then I said, well, my mother, was on drugs and everything. They said, what name do you give this child? S-I-L-E.
She just
Silent.
didn't finish.
She was trying to say silent. Shut up, because I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Sile. The first 3 letters of the word silent, or S-I-L-E.
Well, it didn't take to heart, obviously.
Yeah.
No.
Well, anybody that watches this podcast is Sheila. So,
Yeah, Sheila.
Sheila, and I'll scream it from the back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It will correct you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Well, that was a good night, by the way.
well, yeah,
I really
it was.
had no-
Oh, man,
everybody
you guys
was on fire.
freaking
Everybody was on
killed-
fire.
Oh yeah,
Everybody
both
was
of
just-
you.
On fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that McNally, not Abagnale? Like, you ever watched The Departed? Yeah.
No, what's that now?
The Departed. No.
No, it's
Catch
not.
Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You
With
Can
Leonardo
with
DiCaprio.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, it's
good.
wonderful.
I think you'd like that.
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
if
it's
you like
very good.
Leonardo, if you like, it's very it's really super fun. It's a fun
Okay.
little.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
We got a whole list of stuff for you to watch.
I know. Okay, just make your list and text it to
Yes,
me. Okay.
exactly.
We have coffee. We'll talk. Okay.
Exactly. We have coffee. We'll talk about
Gen
it.
Z won't get that either.
They won't.
They won't. They'll be like,
This isn't for them.
this
is
isn't for them.
us.
I'm sorry, Gen Z. I'm sorry. Let's go out of the room.
How was your how have your puppets done? Speaking of Gen Z on TikTok, because I think it would lend itself for that, like
Absolutely, yeah.
short form content.
Well, let me see. Not really. Okay. A lot of my TikTokers are people who have private accounts and don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and then a lot of them are just kids.
Yeah.
I don't follow back kids. They're just kids. So they want to see my videos. That's fine. And I looked at the analytics and I thought, they're not watching all my videos. They're just doing like 2. So I decided from now on, and I made a video of this. I'm like, hey, I'm Sile Michaela, and turn it off. And that's it. 15-second videos so that people just, because, it's just not really, and on my For You page, I want to laugh. I don't want depression. I don't want to see depression and stuff. And okay, there are a lot of people on TikTok who, when I was growing up, it was a lot different story.
Yeah.
You had to be tough when you were growing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have a thick skin, and you had to. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Exactly.
You had to do that if you wanted to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did Barack Obama do when he was in office? And they talked to him about how he's been teased and made fun of.
Yeah.
And so I see that and I think, my God, please just chill out. Don't. No, somebody did this and that and I don't know what to do. And it's okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. You just got to be a little tough. And I see that and I get so sick of that. And I'm like, come on, give me some Jeff Dunham. Give me some funny stuff.
Yeah. You want to see something joyful. You want to see people experiencing their lives and, you know, and pursuing their passions and their dreams. Right. And I absolutely relate to that. I've got some friends that are real big, you know.
And I wonder what they're going to do, because life is way harder than that. You know, life for a lot of people is way harder than any kind of comparison, you know, if they haven't been exposed to whatever. But you can't break like that, because if something worse happens, what? You're going to kill yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to deal, you know? You know, and there are beautiful things in life, like the thing in Westworld. I always say that, right? Like, there's a quote in there where it's like, you know, I know there's like a lot of bad things, you know, in the world, and the world can be an ugly place, you know, but I choose to see the beauty in it. Yeah. You know, and it's a choice.
What else can you do? I mean, there are way more beautiful things in the world than there are bad.
Yeah.
There has to be.
And put your phone down. That's the thing. Like, you're the beauty of the world and the earth. And my uncle was Thomas Berry, who wrote Dream of the Earth, Universe Story, and so forth. But he was an environmentalist priest, if you can believe that.
That's a fun title. I like it.
That's a whole manly girly podcast right there.
I think it's cool.
Well, he taught my mother. He said Teresa to my mom, because they had 13 kids. They were all they were brother and sister, but 13 kids. He said, Teresa, find a place where you can have woods. Let them walk in the woods. Let them feel the leaves underneath there. Look at the beauty of the world. And I would say to a lot of young people now, put your daggone phone down. Put it down. Quit being on the phone all the daggone time.
Connect with
people. Like, we're right here. Connect with people.
And
you know?
I didn't think that we've talked about it before. When the last time you were here, that's the reason that we started this. We're so, you know, I like to talk to people. I like people, and I like connecting with them. I find, you know, the text and social media, it just takes all of the feeling out of it. You know what I mean? It takes away what we could really convey between each other without words. Right. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm very much in agreement with you. You know, we should be outside, putting our feet in the dirt and connecting with nature. I think your environmental priest has got it right.
Yeah.
But I've been accused of being a hippie multiple times in my life. So.
Oh, you can call me hippie all you want. Hippie is okay. And like that song, hippie, hippie, shake, the Beatles.
Yes.
Hippie, hippie. But that would be my message. And
put the damn phone down.
Put the daggone phone down. Just go out and call somebody, spend time with a relative.
Yeah.
And another thing I've learned too, through my years of social media, is don't put anything on the web or on your social media that you wouldn't say to somebody's face.
Oh, word.
Like, for instance, you could say, "You son of a bitch." Well, if you were in front of that person, would you say that? Because maybe they'd kick your butt.
100%.
Things like that.
I totally agree. I think that and that's why, like, like some people are like, I'm very open. And, I think that's the difference between, like talking shit and then just saying like, sometimes there are hard truths. I'll say something to somebody's face and I don't mean to like harm them, right? Or I'll make a joke. I'll be like, yeah, I thought this joke was lame. But then I would tell that to the person as well. Like it's not, meant to be
secret.
Yeah.
A secret. Right. Like, or I think, like it's better to have it kind of like out in the open, like instead of, like, we had one of our guests before we got to know them, right? Perhaps, they might have, talk crap, as they say, behind, our backs. But guess what? We were going to have them on. They're like, hey, you might hear that I said some things about that. I didn't really know you, and you could, have the wrong opinion of somebody if you don't really know them. And we're super cool now.
We like them a lot. But that's just it is, are we going to let that ruin what could be a beautiful friendship? So.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Why? Tell us.
Because I was thinking about this too, and it has to do with my relationship to the Durham community and the comedy community. It's kind of interesting, and that's why I'm so glad I'm on this podcast because
we're glad to have you.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to be here too. Thank you. But I don't. First of all, I don't think I'm any better than anybody else. Us first thing, because and I'm responding to things I've heard while I'm at shows, and I don't think I'm any better than anybody else.
Nobody else.
And but I have had an experience in show business for 30 some years, and so I've learned how to give a little, but don't come out on people really fast. That's why I don't spend a lot of time with everybody after shows. I kind of like to just keep it and just kind of lure people in.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants, because you know how it is when you get somebody there in your face, they're like, "You were so good. I thought that was really good. Let me buy you a beer. Can you be my best friend? You want to be my best friend? Come on, be my damn best friend, damn it." Things like that. So I'm thinking, I don't want to be that person. So I'm like a little bit coy. And I know there's some people who, Jeff Dunham dealt with the same thing. Prop comic. They wrote things in the bathroom. But what he did is he Guinness Book of World Records, he is the only comedian who has sold more tickets in one show than anybody else.
Oh, wow.
He was voted funniest man in America by Slade magazine a few years ago, and he was a ventriloquist. And what he did is he rose up from adversity and he achieved his goal, and I think that's what's motivating me. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to grab this by the cojones and make my own success.
Yeah.
And at the same and then people want to come with me, that's fine or not. But I don't want there to be any kind of like, you're a ventriloquist. We don't associate with ventriloquists. You're a prop comic. Yeah.
Whatever.
Things like, like that.
What you just mentioned made me think of that Gen Z thing, right? Where it's like, I think what is lost is their ability to be individuals. You know, like all of a sudden, like when we were growing up, it was like, okay, if everybody jumps off a bridge, you're also going to jump off, right?
Right.
Whereas like, now it seems like, of course, because
Everybody's
that's what you're expected to do, and it's almost like, and back to the where they're allowed. It's like, life through time shows you that not everybody's gonna like you, even if you try.
That's
to have everybody like you. Not everybody's gonna like you, and I think that this younger generation is maybe lack of life experience or idealism, not realize that you can appease everybody and you cannot.
You cannot.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's a very good point, Arturo. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's interesting though, but I mean,
well, I was reading the Ted Kaczynski's book the other day in the podcast, and he's like, he had that quote that we were mentioning, that it's like, it's impossible to conform to all of the society's what do they call it? I forget what it was, but basically all the needs that you're gonna need to basically appease everyone in society.
It's impossible unless you're The Rock.
Yeah.
Everybody likes The Rock.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're The Rock, number one, we love The Rock.
I mean, he could run for president. He maybe make
We
it.
love The Rock. We love The Rock.
But he's kind of, very, like he doesn't make any waves ever. He never says anything, controversial or whatever. And I get that. He's a celebrity. He has to be careful about what he says. We don't have to be careful about what we say now.
No, we don't. We're not there. Of
We're
course,
nobodies.
I can see it now 20 years later. Hey, man, the Girly podcast, Sheila was saying this about so-and-so. Oh, my goodness. Ooh, cancel.
Whatever. They're not even going to know who that person is.
They're not.
Listen, if anybody's getting canceled on this podcast, it's going to be me.
Yeah. Cancel you. Oh, my God. Can we talk about that here?
What? Cancel culture?
Yes, can we talk about cancel
culture? We talk
culture?
about it all the time, yeah.
Because I have a lot of thoughts about that.
What do you think?
Do I got blood on there? Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay. I'm, as a comedian, as a ventriloquist, I think that maybe, possibly, it's a possibility. Okay, Gen Z. Okay, a lot of people. That members of my community are overreacting to a lot of things going on out there. And I honestly think that the Dave Chappelles of the world are not the enemy. Dave Chappelle's not the enemy. People who make certain jokes about certain groups of people are not the enemy. The real enemy are the ones that are in power. To me, they are the Marjorie Taylor Greens. They are the Ron DeSantis of the world. DeSantis or DeSantis?
Is that the plural?
DeSanti?
DeSantu, the George Santoses of the world. Those are the enemies. And I honestly think, and I don't know, growing up, I learned that sometimes you don't want to give people ammunition.
Yeah.
You don't want to give people a reason to be mean to you even more than you have. Now, yes, you should defend yourself by punching in the face. I'm going to punch you right back.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
But in certain circumstances, walk away.
Yeah.
Sure.
Walk away, because my mom always said, because I was teased because I had a learning disability and I was dyslexic and all this stuff like that. And I was teased mercilessly because of that. But Mama told me, you just got to walk away.
You know, Jim Payne is also dyslexic, and he couldn't read.
Yes, I saw that. I put that in a comment section but just like Jim, sometimes you just got to walk away, because if you stay there and fight that bully, you might get your butt kicked. If you are protesting a Dave Chappelle show because he makes jokes, you're only going to, one, piss him off and make him want to write more, and it's going to build him up. If you just sit back and just let it go and don't worry about it, it's going to dribble off. Because eventually he has no power. He has no ammunition. It's not pissing anybody off. Yeah. Oh, gosh. And eventually people will, as society grows, jokes have changed. The jokes I told in the 80s and 90s, I would have gotten shot. I mean, you just wouldn't tell them.
Would you have gotten canceled?
Yeah.
I would have gotten canceled. Not shot, but canceled. So, but do you see how eventually things change? Sometimes you got to let go and let Mother Nature just
takes its
course, because it will die off and go off into the sunset. And
Well, I mean, and I agree. You're absolutely right. The things that we don't need anymore tend to die off.
That's right.
If they become unnecessary, we don't use them anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So, I hear you.
I'm sorry, when you said that, I thought about something. And
what? What is it?
Well, only y'all will understand it, but it's not.
That's okay. We don't
need it anymore.
Yeah.
So you're on, since we're talking about ventriloquism,
right,
and so many of these things tie into your life and what ventriloquism means to you, and the story that you told Joe Biden, can we hear that too? The story about how ventriloquism is so intricately entwined in your life.
Sure.
If it's okay.
Well, I'm trying to get views on here.
Well,
so
your best angle. Is that your right side?
I don't know what my straightaway side is better.
There was a comic here last night or the night before, and she was saying, "Oh yeah, well that's good because this is from my best side." And then I was sitting there thinking, "What's my best side? Like, do we have to?"
All sides, baby.
There you go.
So
yeah, it's from when I'm looking I'll pay you from the bottom.
You're disgusting. He's a revolting person.
Well, it was 1972.
1972.
I was watching TV with our family. I have 8 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
We were all watching, all of us in the den watching Laugh-In, which was a TV show.
I watched the
Did Laugh-In, yes, with Goldie Hawn and stuff like that. And Willie Tyler.
I don't know who Willie Tyler
African-American ventriloquist, Willie Tyler and Lester.
Lester, the puppet?
The puppet Lester.
Okay.
They were guest stars on the show. They were regulars on the show. Later on. And part of this is what I've been told. Part of this is what I remember.
Okay.
Mom said, we're watching the show, and they had the Lester doll out. Mom, I want one of those. I want to be a ventriloquist. So I saw Willie Tyler. So Mom bought me, back in the day, we looked at the Sears Robot catalog.
Mm-hmm. Sears
Robot catalog is where you order. This was before Kmart.
What is a robot catalog?
No.
Sears Robot catalog.
Oh, okay,
Sears
yeah.
The Wish book.
Yeah,
right,
And they had, it was a big, thick catalog, and they had it was it seasonally?
Seasonal.
Yeah, it was like spring, summer, fall,
and then the
winter.
Christmas edition.
Yep.
And Mom said, well, maybe Santa Claus will bring it to you.
Maybe.
And Santa Claus brought it to me. And so I had my Lester doll, yay! But then I was like, Zach said, shut up, because you wake Mom and Dad up and they'll beat us. So that wasn't true. He didn't.
Was that your brother?
Yeah, it was my brother. He was down there, and he got a Charlie McCarthy doll. No, wait a minute. That was the year I got Big Bird. Okay, anyway. So I had my Lester doll, and it's 5 a.m. in the morning, and everybody else is asleep. And I open it up, I pull the string, and I'm like, Zach, it doesn't say anything.
Oh, no.
I thought it had a voice box in it or something.
Oh, how funny.
So then Mama said, it's called a ventriloquist, blah, blah. It's called, and here's what you do. Okay, well, it didn't really take. It didn't take.
Okay.
Then Mama said, well, here's a magic set. So I did magic, and I had, she invited all of my uncles and aunts over. We did magic.
Boy, she just encouraged the heck
She
out of you,
did,
didn't she?
And then I started making fun of my uncles and aunts. And
with your magic set?
With my wand. Hey, buddy. But I would tell jokes. I would do mannerisms of them, like, yes, I'm Uncle George. Yes. Hello, I'm Uncle George. Come on over and see me sometime. And Uncle George wouldn't like it.
No.
Or they would like it. So things like that. And Mom said, And so then the next year, she got me a Big Bird puppet.
Okay.
And the Big Bird puppet. But then I started thinking, well, maybe there's something to this. There's a little lever, and I'd pull, I'm Big Bird. Yeah, you're the Big Bird. And then, then I got the drums. I started playing the drums. Later, played drums in a blues band. And I could have gone on to be like just big-time drummer, but I decided not to. But anyway, so then I did that. I had the Big Bird, and then later on I did the drums. And then I started getting into comedy improvisation. Mm-hmm. I started an improvisation group called Uncle Ronnie's Bedtime Theater, which was in Boone, and we did comedy for the poor people.
Boone,
that was before we called it. Yeah. That was before it was called. They were just called homeless back then. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, so the Hunger Coalition, and we raised money. We did that. So improv, comedy. And then I did Karaoke America. I was a karaoke MC for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
I would practice my comedy, my stand-up. I would practice that. I got married, and my first partner...
Is that when you were like coming up? You said you had like your stint to fame, or...
Fast Track to Fame. That's when Fast Track to Fame was coming up, so I was practicing. So I would on TV show. We would go and videotape people all around the world, the country, and videotape them. So you got the drums, comedy, improv. Well, the drums kind of died off.
Yeah,
and then you had just the comedy, and then I started. My partner, she had a puppet named Buford, and it was a Disney puppet, a little hound dog.
Okay.
And so I started messing with that. But then it was like, you're married now, you gotta pay, you got a family now, you can't be messing around with this stuff. Once again, and that was the excuse that my family and people have used all my life was, get a real job. And so then I just stopped doing that. And then things happened and changed, and I changed, and And then 2014, I got the comedy bug again. I was working at a grocery store. I was thinking I'm going to start writing, so I started writing. I went over to the Idiot Box when it was downtown on Elm Street in Greensboro, my hometown. And they had open mics there. And I signed up. I did the first night I had a 4-minute show. You had 5 minutes. I went up, told my jokes, killed it, and walked off the stage. The MC was eating his hamburger and said, "What, you're done?" And had put his hamburger down and walked back up stage and said, "Sile Michaela, yeah, give it up." The second time I went there, I did okay. I did good again, but I told jokes about the self-checkouts, how, "Thanks for shopping. Please have a good day. And kiss my ass, you son of a bitch." Things like that. And I would tell jokes about that and things. But it got kind of dicey. Okay. Now, here's where we come into the cancel culture. It comes back into it. They were telling jokes that were an affront to me and my sensibilities. And they were jokes that I thought just didn't belong. And I really got scared and I was afraid. Yeah. And I was offended and I was hurt and I was sad. Since they were telling these type of jokes that I thought, so I got up. I don't think I did it a third time. I got up and walked out. And then, the second time my son was there, he came. I had him that weekend anyway. And I was living in Winston, and so anyway, and so I thought, gosh, these people. And so I started making fun of them on stage when I got up there.
Good.
And so I just kind of ended it there.
You're very good at roasting, by the way. I always remember when we did the comedy show here in the neighborhood, and Dice had his edgy comedy, and then you're like, "Oh yeah. You gotta save your money, right? Isn't that what they told you when you were a stripper, right, Dice?"
Yeah.
It's just like
burn him.
And I was.
But he
now
was
I'm starting to get more
laughing.
comfortable now.
It was a good
I'm
joke.
loving it.
Yeah. Well, you burned him hard, but he laughed the entire time.
But he laughed at it. And that's what this guy did. I mean, he was and he still is to this day, the icon. Yeah. And then I went on Twitter and I started mentioning it. You talked about social media. And then I got beat up by all the people who were there, who were saying, and I didn't have the balls to say, I didn't have the balls. But I didn't have the balls to say, "You're talking about me. Yeah. You're talking about my community and my people, and that hurt."
For these reasons. And they just didn't. So I just let it go. I was making my movie, Sins of Ash County. I was trying to get that all together. So anyway, but the good thing is, the exciting thing is, and this comes back to telling everybody on TikTok and just to chill out because it's changing. It's changed. Those same comedians were at the new Idiot Box with the new management. Not a bit. Not one joke that dealt with that subject. Not one joke. Yeah. Not one thing. And it changed. I think Jenny Sensel has done an amazing job with the Idiot Box. It is so open. It is so friendly, inviting. People laugh at your jokes. They think it's a great environment. And then because it's under new management because that was the old management. And it just comes to show that it comes full circle. So it ties into what we were talking about earlier. When you see somebody and you think, that's right, but once you get to know them, you're like, "Hey, I really like you. You're really cool. We're starting to get along." It's the same way with this comedian. Yeah. We finally got, it's like, but we didn't even mention it. You don't have to say, "Yeah, you hurt me years ago." Yeah. You don't have to do that. You just go on. And it's like, and now as I was leaving, I was about to screw up my tire. I was about to drive off the pavement or something. And they said, no, wait, Sheila, come on. And he looked at me and looked out the car and says, "Good job, Sheila." That just really touched my heart. And it's like, okay, we've come full circle. At one time, now, and so I think that's what eventually people come around.
eventually things change. You can't really, sometimes you can't force change.
Well,
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was going to say, we've talked about it a lot. It's that if at any point in time a human is having an interaction with any other human and they say the wrong thing, whether they meant to or they didn't, you know what I mean? Then if the conversation stops, then where are you going to go from there? You know what I mean? If you say, or I say, hey, what you've said is so offensive to me that I can no longer communicate with you, rather than saying to them, hey, what you have said to me is so incredibly offensive to me, and I want to talk to you about that. You know what I mean? And I guess it's just that we all live in this world together, and we have to communicate. And I don't see us getting closer together by not communicating.
And we're not machines. We're like, the thing is, like, communication is messy. Communication is difficult,
communication
right?
Is messy.
You're gonna make
Humans
mistakes,
right?
And to that cancel thing, right? All of a sudden, I also think being too quick to jump on the go. First of all, before that, it's difficult to know sometimes, especially when you're walking the edge, what is me joking around or fucking with somebody and what mockery is, right? Because they're like, you can step into mockery and then that can be, hurtful. And sometimes the line isn't as blurry. Maybe it's more of a threshold, and some people, like, feel mock, and some people get the joke. And so because it's not, a switch on and off, and there's a lot of contextual stuff going on to it.
Nuance.
I think that you can't, like, if you all of a sudden are like, jump super harsh, right? Like, you might have some, let's say, the bystanders, people somewhere in the middle, they're not really a party to anything. They're like, maybe that joke was a little bit, but they're not ready to jump. And then somebody jumps super hard, and they're like, and then like almost fires back. It's like, oh, they might have been wrong, but I definitely don't agree with how harsh you just went here.
Yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden you polarized a person that was still figuring out and that maybe needed time, and we're emotive creatures. We're imperfect. I think we sometimes need time. To your point, you can't force change.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need people to digest it and learn and like kind of like give them a little bit of breathing room before it's like, how fucking dare you, piece of shit. You know, like,
we're all humans. We're all imperfect, and we all deserve a little bit of grace.
Yep.
Right?
We make mistakes,
I've been offered grace multiple times when I did not deserve it. Please.
Yeah.
I'm so imperfect, and I definitely am, have been, especially when I was younger, foot in mouth. You know what I mean? Like, I have and the only excuse that I can give, and the only excuse any of us can give, is we're human, we're imperfect, and I did better the next time. So what else can I do?
Well, that's it. You did better the next time.
Yeah.
And it's like...
So should I be burned at the stake?
Exactly. Because if we burn everybody at the stake, we're all dead. What are we doing?
We're all done for. Yes, because we're all imperfect, and we're all going to say the wrong thing at some point in time. But
they said eye for an eye leaves everybody blind.
Yep, that's right. And then everybody's walking around. But and I think you added to that. I mean, my choice was to just step away from the situation because I thought, well, before I go jumping, before I go attacking, before I go on stage and try to beat them up, which is so stupid. My God, I've seen. Anyway, but I just walked away and I stepped back from it for a while, and I'm glad I did because it gave me a chance to kind of regroup, refocus, and renew. And so I came back, and then I've been to a joke. You may have heard this one joke. Well, this one guy told a joke one time, and it was at a gig, and he had made a joke that I thought
a little dicey,
and I thought, but I didn't think I'm gonna get up and go. I'm just gonna get my puppets and go home. No, I stuck it out that time, and I stuck it out because I thought, I don't know if the way it was with you, one of you when you were a kid. My mother would, when I was trying on clothes, would embarrass the hell out of me.
Oh,
and would yell at me and scream at me.
I don't know about the yelling.
And then I thought, someone told me, said, Sheila, the people aren't looking at you thinking you're a bad kid. They're looking at your mom thinking she's a bitch. And so I thought, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you give people enough rope, they'll hang themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's what Mama always told me. And sometimes you just got to let people hang themselves.
Absolutely.
And okay. Y'all, Gen Z, that was an expression back years ago. Okay, it was an expression. Give yourself enough to hang yourself. It was an expression. Okay, so I'm not saying go out and hang yourself.
No
trigger warnings. Okay, please. It was an expression. Yeah. Thank you. I just had to say that.
The implication is just that if you do enough bad things, something bad's going to happen.
That's right.
You.
Karma. It'll come back after you.
It'll come back around and kick you right in the ass.
And it will, Gen Z. You don't have to go out. Sometimes protesting is good on certain issues, but certain things, let it go.
Well, or at least just don't loot the neighbors,
Right, exactly, and violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer. Never, nunca. Nadia, no, nunca.
And because I think it's easy to, and this is I always say, like one has to take into account that we might ourselves be compromised, right? Yeah. We're emotive creatures, right? And like we have egos, right? So at one point, it's like it's very easy to try to rationalize that you're fighting for a cause and not just feeding your ego because you're in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, there's cloud. Oh yeah, I'm sure the thrill of like fighting, against an opposing force, right? But I mean, atrocities have been done with that same mindset,
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. The Catholic Church. No.
Yeah.
It's a Pope joke.
Well, I'm sorry.
You're canceled by the Catholics. They're not going to like it.
They, I don't know I don't know what kind of power they have right now.
No, they don't have much power at all.
If they're not on TikTok.
No, they're not on TikTok. The Pope is not on TikTok. He would get an earful from me, but anyway.
Well, either way, so we can come for the Catholics, but nobody else.
Yeah, but just nobody else. But the Presbyterians, maybe.
Maybe
the Presbyterians.
They're like diet Catholic.
Yeah, and then the Episcopals are Catholic light. So,
exactly.
Listen, I will support the Catholics, not the old Catholics, but I always say that I say that Catholicism is almost the best religion. Why? And I was raised Catholic. I wouldn't consider myself necessarily a Catholic nowadays, but I say it's because it has a loophole. You just have to really be sorry and say sorry, and all of it goes away.
Yeah,
and when you're in dire straits, you're really sorry about everything, So it's like there's so many rules that nobody can follow them, so everybody's sinning in it. So it's like there's no real Catholics, and like you can do.
That's fair.
You could literally say I don't believe in God, and then say before you die, I'm really sorry. It's like, well, you're a Catholic again,
That's true. The priest will let you in the heaven.
Well, it's kind of like, when you're driving, you're speeding and you see a cop, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow down.
Exactly.
We got to slow down.
I'm going slow, officer, lady.
I always tell Andy, I'm like, don't look at the cops. You have to, like, it's kind of like they can't see that you see them. Otherwise, like, oh, why are you watching me? There's something suspicious about you. Is there a reason you're watching me as a cop?
It's my white privilege. I'm sorry. I look at cops. I wave. I
don't. I just keep. I pretend like I'm talking to myself. Okay, see,
100%. I will lower the radio, especially by myself. I'll lower the radio down to 0. But from the outside, it looks like I'm singing and dancing to a song, right? Like,
y'all are ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, because
y'all just must be speeding too much, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, because I know when I was growing up, Mama said, Daddy always said, whenever you see a cop, you keep your hands on the steering wheel.
10 and 2.
10 and 2. You hold it and you say, officer, I'm going to reach down and get my wallet.
Driver's license,
Driver's license or whatever. And then I've gotten out of a lot of tickets that way or whatever because it's just because it shows the officer that you're showing appreciation.
And taking it very seriously and wanting to make them feel protected and you feel protected.
And to all the Gen Z that they're like, well, they shouldn't be acting whatever. It's like, listen, there are no fucking solutions in life. There are 0 solutions in life. There are only trade-offs, right? Sure, maybe you shouldn't, right? But maybe you don't know what cop you're dealing with. And maybe it's like if your result is that you want to go on your merry way, it's all trade-off. So the probability that your interaction, regardless if it's, like, because what, if you're getting a racist cop, a sexist cop, whatever.
Oh, yeah, they're just people too.
Yeah.
Well, once again, it goes back to them. Let them do the wrong because otherwise they have an excuse to like treat you wrongly, but yeah.
I try to be very, very straight, definitely around the cops, but I've been pulled over a handful of times. My interaction with cops has been very minimal in my life.
Yeah.
So I guess even though my general fear of them is not necessarily a fear. It's more that they're just going to give me a ticket and I don't want to pay it. So,
okay.
I just, I never necessarily, I don't have a fear of them, doing something bad to me or anything like that. But I also know that everybody has a bad day. And just because he woke up on the wrong side of the bed doesn't mean I'm going to give him an opportunity to be, the punching bag of the day.
Yeah. And my contention is that I always say, my life is best minimizing any interactions with cops because once again, it's a probability. And I've had friend cops. What good can come from more interactions with the cops? Because they're not just doing a job; they are a cop 24/7, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, if you cross over a threshold, it's like I wanted the cops the least amount in my life, and I'm not even doing anything negatively. Just the risk of like
fair, because I'm gonna keep speeding. Sometimes. Unless I see a cop, and then we're gonna pull it back a little bit.
Well, and I think that's true. I mean, for me myself, one thing I will add to that is, I do think though that there is a kind of an advantage that I have because of my skin color than somebody who has a darker complexion, and I think that's unfortunate.
Oh yeah, when I used to drive through oil fields in Oklahoma, I used to wear like my camo hat,
So you could fit in.
And then you say, "Hey, officer, how you doing?"
I'm like, this camouflage really is working. Yeah.
Well,
so because there are some. I mean, and there are some bad cops out there, and then there's some really good ones. And
there's bad people in every position.
But what are you supposed to do, right? Like you play to your strengths. That's all any of us can do. It's like you were born tall, short, you're like, darker, lighter skin. What are you supposed to apologize because you don't have as much trouble, right? Like, the downside is like you're going to get overcharged every time you go overseas at every market, whereas I might get a deal. They'd be like, this fucking Hispanic doesn't have any money. It's okay, we'll cut him a deal. Like if you're a gringo, you come from a rich country. Yeah.
Well, you're going to get taken then.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story that I was scared. I was doing karaoke.
Yeah.
And I was experiencing some things. And anyway, it was Halloween, and I dressed in drag.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I'm in this short little outfit, and everything. And I gotta. And we were going down in Lexington, North Carolina. Read up on Gerald Hagee. Chief Gerald Hagee painted all of the jail cells pink, and he made all of the inmates wear pink stripes.
Get the heck out!
Oh yeah,
Why?
he was a badass son of a gun.
Oh yeah,
Gerald Hagee, he didn't play. You come into his county, it was like you going into the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah,
and I was driving, and I was thinking, please don't let a cop stop me. Please don't let us.
I don't look good in pink stripes.
Yes.
It's not my color.
And this wig is really,
Yeah.
But luckily I had somebody, I was doing karaoke, but luckily when I got there, the people were cool and everybody was cool to say, well, just dressing up in drag, ain't no big deal. So anyway, that was the kind of thing that I thought, because I've seen videos of people who had been stopped because of those situations, and cops weren't very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And so, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you rock the outfit?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Well,
I rocked it. It was really
yeah.
good. So I mean, not like I'm old now. So it was. I did. I'll tell you another quick story. I just when I was doing karaoke as well in the '90s. It was in Winston-Salem. Most of this was in Winston-Salem, Lexington, Greensboro area. And I did a drag show, and I didn't make a damn tip. I didn't make any tip. The janitor came up and gave me $1.
Are you freaking
And I
crazy?
had stirrup pants on, and I had a Joan Jett wig, and I did Katrina and the Waves. Cry! Come on. Ooh, ooh. What's the name of the song?
I don't know.
Cry
I only know
to
Walking
me.
on Sunshine.
Cry to me. And I was
in the Sunshine Band.
there was Katrina and the Waves. I'm walking on sunshine.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
people
Okay.
did that. And
So did you kill it?
I did. Well, I looked pretty good, But
I sang pretty good.
No, I didn't sing at all. I lip synced.
Okay.
And I didn't get a tip, and all the other drag queens were like,
they didn't.
Who is this lady? And then all the lesbians were looking at me like,
So they didn't like it?
They didn't like. I got $1 tip, and that's where I got the joke about Mr. Dimples being. That's where I got the joke about Mr. Dimples as an exotic dancer. Did you get any tips? Don't quit your day job, and that's basically what they said. Don't quit your day job, kid. That's where that joke comes from.
You're like, I'll stick to ventriloquism.
I'll stick to ventriloquism.
But great for mining material, you know?
Absolutely,
it was great for material, and this one lady, she was like, you're so fine.
No.
And and I was like, ah. So anyway, but that was.
You know what? If you liked it, then you should like what you like. I liked it.
Well, they said. Well, the one thing this one lady said, stirrup pants. What are you wearing stirrup pants for? Oh my goodness! So it was like stirrup pants was the deal back then.
Yeah, they were really popular.
They were so popular, and I had issues.
So what was the problem?
I don't know. Maybe I was.
You didn't do it
tall.
right.
I didn't have the walk. I didn't have the swag. I didn't have the.
Well, they should have helped you. I don't know. I'm a big fan of if you have something that you love, then there should be no reason that you wouldn't want other people to love that with you. You know what I mean? So invite them in and let them enjoy it as well. But if you don't, I don't know. If you don't make people feel excited about what you're excited about, how can you expect it to catch on and more people to do it?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's true.
You got to be more inclusive. You know? More inclusive.
Yeah. Now that I've just
But
spilled my beans on, I spilled some tea. It's called tea.
That's
I spilled
right.
it.
It's not spilling the beans anymore. It's
I
spilling
know.
the tea.
I'm looking at the camera every time I do that.
That's fine.
I'm looking at the camera.
So that you can tell Gen Z.
Yeah.
Spilling the
Gen
tea.
Z, chill out.
But you're much better about it because sometimes, like, you know, you're used to the camera. Sometimes I have to unplug the output to the camera to new guys that are not used to the camera. Because they'll just like be staring at the screen the entire time, you know?
Yeah, because they always said you look like I'm looking at the word Canon.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily looking at the thing. And plus, you know, and I make videos when I make videos of in my studio, it's a tiny little studio with Mr. Dimples and Joe Biden. I've got over 1,000 videos.
Nice.
Up and so, but getting people to watch them is the key. It's like and some people
You got to
like,
feed the algorithm. I don't know.
Well, see, here I need to allow comments. I didn't allow comment. I stopped allowing comments on YouTube
Just
because
don't read them.
Yeah, that's
Who
it.
cares?
Because of the algorithm. And one of my friends, Trish Dunn, she's a great ventriloquist. She said most of the times, she said the ones that either ignore you or the ones that throw shade on you or they're the ones that are jealous and they're the ones
Absolutely
that you just gotta. So you're doing something right when you don't get all the praise.
Well, and you think about it. These people, they're just sitting at home commenting on the internet. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Nothing.
You're doing something. We're doing something.
That's right.
And like, what the heck are you doing?
And like
do something with your own life.
That's right.
There's this real estate guy called Grant Cardone. He's kind of like a little bit of like, you know, like a hustler, but he did have he has a couple nuggets of information. This was from years ago where he's like, listen, you know, like the more successful you become, the more haters you're gonna have, you know.
Yeah.
When nobody knows you, nobody's gonna hate you because guess what? Nobody knows who the hell you are, right? But you know, as you climb up, haters are a byproduct or a feature of success. So it's like just ignore the haters, you know, ignore the comments. Sometimes we have like, you know, like we have very positive comments on the, you know, Manly Girly YouTube, but there's a couple that are like kind of like just not even critical of us, but just of the guest or whatever. It's like, you know, you're helping the algorithm. You're helping us out with the comments in the algorithm.
Absolutely.
It just goes ignored. The ones
them.
that we appreciate, we just give a little heart straight from the channel. Otherwise, guess what? Now you have a comment and it's in vacuum. There has no likes. You know, you're the one that looks like the asshole.
Yeah, that's right. You're the one. And I had a film. That film. That's why I think we talked about this before. I'm Your Mom. I did that show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you say that, I thought, I must really have been doing something right.
Yeah.
If I got all that crap and that slack.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was some dude and he started putting on, but that was when I was afraid. I was scared back then.
Yeah.
I was afraid because letting people, then this one person said, Sheila, you really don't realize that people know anyway on your social media imprint. Mm-hmm. So, Anyway, so I think that part of it is when you embrace yourself, I think more people come around. A lot of people will leave.
Yeah.
And they'll leave you, but a lot of people will embrace you. And I think that's the key. And also too, people who are into the Gen Zs, look at me. I'm successful. I'm pretty much successful. I'm still alive. I'm still happy. I'm on the Manly Girly podcast for crying out loud.
No, you honor
and you can be successful, and you can succeed, and you can get friends, and that's what I love about the ventriloquist community. When I went to the Van Haven convention in 2022, I just received nothing but love and acceptance. That's it. Period. There were no, except for one lady who was pissed that the Van Haven Museum has ambiguous bathrooms. They're men and women. They're ambiguous. Oh my goodness, being politically correct. It's on the video. You should see it. I just let it go. But that's only one person out of 500.
Yeah, that's pretty good odds.
And ventriloquism, in my opinion, is very non-binary in that there are famous ventriloquists who do female puppets and female puppets who do male puppets. So the whole gender issue is bent in the now there is people like Jeff Dunham who he bought a ventriloquist puppet and put a wig over. It was a girl puppet, but he says, "How you doing? Good to see you." So he had a male voice, but I'm like, come on, it's just a joke. It's not anything funny. Yeah. And
so he has an Arturo Lorenzo puppet, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was a lieutenant. That's right. It was a Arturo Lorenzo puppet, and that's where people just need to Gen Z, don't just chill out. It's okay. Nobody died. Just
move on.
Just move on.
If you don't think it's funny, you don't have to laugh at it.
You don't have to laugh at it. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch his videos. Just walk away and go smell some flowers. So, or something like that. So I thought that was really...
I don't know. I think Gen Z should get into puppets because like I said, my son wanted one. I feel bad now being across from you and telling you that I squashed his little dreams.
Well, it's not too late because you look at Darcy Lynn.
He's young still.
Darcy Lynn she is one of the people who's brought back ventriloquism.
Well, great.
And
you
so
could be one of the people that brings it back. I mean, you introduced it to us. Why don't you bring it back?
I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
You got that, America? And you remember those old wrestling commercials? Yeah, Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Yeah, I'm going to catch you on the other thing.
For you.
Yeah, I'm coming for you.
You're coming for Gen Z.
I'm coming for Gen... No, I'm not Gen Z. Please, they'll come after me. No, but I want... Can we talk about Terri?
Yeah, yes. Who's Terri?
Terri Rogers.
Okay, yeah.
Terri Rogers. I discovered Terri Rogers about a year ago.
Okay.
Okay. And I didn't know this. I saw Terri Rogers, and then I said, in 1960, I think, she had a pioneering surgery, gender surgery. She was one of the first. And I read, and then they started, in Wikipedia, they said transsexual. I'm like, you don't use that word anymore. No, you don't say transsexual anymore. So I changed it on Wikipedia anyway. And I thought,
what's the word now? I didn't know that word.
You just say transgender.
Okay.
And you don't say transgendered. People put an ED at the end. It's like, you're not dead, die once. You don't die twice.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm glad that my joke is, like my transgender Dora the Explorer is with the accurate.
So it's...
I'm on point. I'm a pioneer of this.
So this Terri
Rogers.
She was one of the very first persons in the United States.
She was the first lady of ventriloquism in England.
Okay.
She's dubbed the first lady of ventriloquism in England, and when you see her, she's so elegant. I didn't even know.
The cool dresses.
The dresses, the bouffant hairdo, the crown, and the voice. I
would not have guessed.
And she started doing her routine when she lived as a male. When she lived as a male, she was doing the routine as a male with Shorty, same puppet. Oh, yeah. But now she had the
gender reassignment
surgery, and she's also one of the pioneers of magic tricks.
Okay, I think you
David
told me about that.
Peeled. Dr. Phil. What the hell am I saying? David Copperfield and everything. They use tricks that she developed. Mm-hmm. She does the disappearing card trick or whatever. You can see it on the videos. And she was on Blockheads with so many other comedians. I mean, ventriloquists. And
she's an inspiration.
She's an inspiration.
Like, yeah.
And so I thought, I wonder if I am the only one ventriloquist in the country, in the world, or the second one, or whatever. I wonder currently now. And then I thought, I think there is maybe one other one. But I thought, I was the first person to have legal name change twice in North Carolina. Maybe the first ventriloquist to do this. And whatever. So I'm thinking, and that just made me feel, so I keep watching her videos, and I was going to do one of her jokes, but I thought, oh, that might.
She made you feel special, though.
She did.
Sweet. That's
and
people need to feel and see themselves in other people, a reflection of what we would like to be, to help us give, feel excited and feel like, hey, we could do that too. You did that.
Yeah.
Why can't I do that?
Well, yeah, it's funny she mentioned that, but the thing about her situation is, back in the day, in 1969, when I came out to my parents, I got a slap in the face.
Yeah.
And a backhand, and my brother's calling me names growing up.
Yeah.
So you didn't say anything. So Terri never brought, it wasn't something that she said, hey, I am this, I am that. Okay. It was just, you went stealth or you died. So the millennials, the Gen Z needs to know that. It was you go stealth or you're dead. It wasn't, there was none of this. There was no, people in my generation, we broke down the walls for you. I'm looking at the camera.
Do it, yeah.
We broke down the walls for you to be able to be out there and express it. Because when we were growing up, you got, especially in the South, you got taken behind the bar, maybe shot, maybe disappeared. Look at Sylvia Rivera, and look at all them who fought and fought and fought. So
the generation forgets how far we've
come.
They
do need to realize we have come a long freaking way.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting somebody, but so that's why she never really said I am this. But that's why but they accepted her and they treated her. She was a lady, and that's what and I can't get the gender non-binary stuff, because you either try your best to look as feminine or male at whatever you identify as possible. During that time, you do that then, and that's what you do. Because otherwise there was some criticism. So I don't know. So but she was a lady. I was impressed with her, the way she carried herself, and the audiences that loved her, and her jokes that she made, and Shorty and her puppet, and then so I don't know.
She might have actually traded even like a lot of ground just by doing that, not only out of necessity, but people are always afraid of the other, right?
Right.
Like, and
things they don't understand.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, that's why sometimes Republican congressmen all of a sudden get empathetic when it's somebody in their family that it happens to, right? Because everybody else is the other. And sometimes, right, like something so different can, like, how do you form relations with people, right? Share connections, shared experiences. And if somebody seems so otherly, people sometimes reject. So in a way, you're just another person. And it kind of like lets then the next person get
the pressure,
closer and closer and closer. Like for a long time, Arturo's my middle name.
Okay.
For a long time, I went by my first name, which was a lot more anglicized when I first moved to this country, right? And it was like all about assimilation, right? Because, like it was, you have to become part of the culture, right? You can't be another, like an immigrant, like Andy will tell you, like, I'm like almost like as American. I've been told that I have real redneck dreams, like of what I want to do.
He's about as American as they come these days.
Yeah. America, but it's
America,
like,
America.
Yeah,
and in there, you're allowed to have your, you can bring in your identity. It's like almost like, well, first you have to build a bridge and then be like, hey, there's nothing scary across the bridge, like, and I think, especially with people sometimes require some time to get used to. And I think, and I think Gen Z has forgotten that it's like it is sequential, like you try to force people's hands. Nobody likes to have their hands forced. There is another way. There's another gentler way.
Yeah.
Even in like some of the people that you mentioned make fun of. Sometimes if you come aggro at somebody, you're gonna get aggro back.
Yeah.
But if you pull your ability forward, it's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry. All of a sudden, you get a completely different response from a person that if you went a different way. There's not always just one answer. There are,
which is, and it is like you were saying. Not only it's not going to work every single time. But what are we going to do? Stop trying? You know what I mean? What are we going to stop trying to get along with the people that we live with? They're our brothers and sisters and our families. We all live here together.
Yeah, because what's the next step with Gen Z? It's almost like escalation. It's like you are so like detached from violence and death in our modern society that you're like don't realize that if then the other side does this and then you escalate, we are at
things
war.
like what you were talking about.
Yes.
The violence and those sort of things, it's so abstract, I think, to them. It's such a, it's not a real idea because they hear about these things, but so many other people experience those things. You know what I mean? And you can't explain to them your experience that deeply. I don't know. How do you transfer that feeling, that fear, that that different kind of life that you lived, that they have a different type of privilege.
Well, to piggyback on that, I work cashier at a food line part-time, and that was a process. I've been at 8 years, 10 years. So this old man comes in, and he is about in his 90s. He's getting ready to go to a nursing home. And
he's an older gentleman, though.
Oh, older gentleman. And he said, and he was with his wife, and he said, "Yes, sir. Thank you, sir."
To you at the cashier?
To me at the cashier. Now, I have a choice. Now, there's some people that I would jump out. I was like, he's this old man. And so then I just kind of look. I said, "You're welcome, ma'am."
Did you really?
I did. And he looked at me, and he laughed.
Good.
And I laughed. And so that whole situation, so from then on out, not what, yes, ma'am.
You just say yes, ma'am, back. I think that's great. You know what? I'll meet you.
I'll meet you halfway.
Exactly. If we're gonna have this conversation, and I cannot avoid it, which you cannot avoid it. You go to work every day, and what are you gonna do? At every single person that says that, you're gonna throw up your hands and say, "I'm not working anymore."
Exactly. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to say, "Oh, okay, now I'm going to punch you in the face, you old man"?
Exactly. I'm going to have an altercation with you that's potentially going to get me fired.
Yeah.
Because you're a ignorant old man.
Yeah.
And at what point in time during this altercation or this interaction am I going to help you change your mind if I'm nasty to you?
Oh,
there's the man.
Oh.
Yeah. So no, I'm absolutely, we all go through things in our daily life. When somebody cuts you off, or when you're driving, you have an option to be aggressive back towards them. But what's that going to solve? You're going to be late to work. You're going to, I don't know, get your blood pressure up. You're going to act like a fool, and it's going to do nothing. You know what I mean? It's not going to make that person behave better. It's not going to make them like you anymore, certainly. So I don't know. I'm of the same mind, though. Definitely that you kill people with
It's called diffusing, and that's diffusion. Just diffuse the situation, because when you diffuse the situation, it doesn't escalate, and it doesn't get into doesn't go really.
Well, I think it's really cute. I think that's a really good way to handle those kinds of things, and I think that a lot of people could take some notes from that. So good job.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So it was exciting.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
I'm glad that he laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You built a bridge right there.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like you gave him the benefit of the doubt. And that's one thing that I always say. It's like, there is, like, intent is so hard to gauge that sometimes, like, you have a choice. Like, regardless of how we may feel, right? Like, I always tell Andy, I'm like, emotions are great for interpreting and make sense and bring meaning into our life, but they're terrible for making decisions. A decision is a choice. Regardless of how you may feel, you have a choice on how to act. Right? And there, like, there is this scenario where you're meant to be an asshole, right?
Yeah.
Or this scenario where he just made a mistake, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was very big of you. You made the choice to give him the benefit of the doubt. And then you're able to build a bridge, so.
Which with a 96-year-old man is amazing. You know what I mean?
Well,
because he's got every reason to be set in his ways.
Well, then his wife, and then unfortunately, and it became kind of sad because he had to go to the nursing home, and he was talking about how I don't want to leave my wife, and I was like, oh my God. So
what a human
it became
interaction.
Exactly, human, and you talk about, it ties into what we talked about in the first place. Yeah. Until you get to know somebody, you can say, I think that person's a son of a bitch.
Exactly.
But until you get to know them, you don't know. Like, I might think that's an ignorant old white man, but he really turned out to be a really nice guy, and he's probably as old as my dad was.
Yeah.
You know,
and
in
you
that time.
gave him that opportunity.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that, but it sounds like it enriched you.
Yeah.
The experience, you know what I mean? And I think that, when we give away those experiences and decide not to have those, those situations that are maybe difficult and where we don't really know how to reply or how to respond. And you were building a bridge, and those were necessary. Yeah. And the more bridges that we have between more people, the better.
But of course, I made the mistake of saying that to a younger person, and I got name called too. But
well, it doesn't work on every instance.
Yeah,
let's hope it works. 99 times out of 100.
Well, you got to remember, it's for me, and my conviction too is that you're not who people say you are. You are God says you are.
Exactly.
You are who your Creator says you are, and sometimes you just gotta just let it go and then move on.
100%. I kind of like have what I say. It's like a very easy guideline whether you should give a fuck about what anybody says about how you live your life or whatever. 1, are you helping or enriching my life in any way?
Right.
And 2, are we fucking? And then if 1 or 2 do not apply,
right,
then your opinion doesn't matter to my life. I mean, are you living my life or are they living their life?
That's a very good point. It's your life.
Yeah. And so do you mind if I break him?
I was going to say, I was hoping. No. We were hoping that you would.
Yeah, he's up next, but we have 5-10 more.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is
we can't have you here and not, Mr.
You got to see Mr. Dimples.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's the fan favorite.
Oh my goodness, Sheila, what are you doing? That feels really weird.
Sheila's bag of tricks. Mr. Dimples.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Are you gonna come all the way
Mr.
out?
Dimples.
You gonna come out?
Maybe a little.
What's up, Dick?
Don't call me Dick. She can call me Dick. You cannot call me Dick.
It sounds aggressive when you say it. Yeah. Dickie?
Dickie.
How you been?
Dickie 2. Hello, Dickie 2. Good to see you.
Sheila,
you got the voice wrong that time. Okay.
You know what's so interesting to me?
I'm going to come out of the dag, okay? I'm cutting out.
Please do.
I'm gay as hell. No, I'm not really gay.
For who?
I don't know.
For shoe.
For shoe?
For y'all, these for anything, okay? Okay, so here we go. What is this right here, Sheila? Well, this is what I used to make I can whack off now. That really sound. I can't believe I just did that. No, shit. I got you, Sheila.
You know what? You usually keep that in the bag, I'm sure.
Yeah, I keep a lot of things in the bag. It's it's strapped it on. It's really good. Okay. So what are you gonna say, huh?
What have you been up to, Mr. Dimples? We're so glad to have you.
You know what? I don't know.
You don't get to. Have you had any recent engagements?
Yeah. Not, yeah, we did really good. We went to the Dirty Doll.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dirty Doll.
Killed it?
And killed it. Went to the Idiot Box,
The Idiot Box, I've never been there.
It's a really good club. It's really good. It's like really good, and
give us one of your best one-liners. What was one of your best one-liners?
Let's see. I tried to tick up this girl. Her name was Amelia. Amelia. Are you looking at me? Come on, let's go.
Amelia Earhart?
No, not Amelia Earhart. She's dead.
We don't know that. There's been no confirmation.
Well, she was a Canadian, and then she came up. You know what she did? She said, I guess I'm Mr. Dental's girlfriend now. And so, because I said, get in the bag, Sheila.
Get in the bag.
Then Sheila, he got the name wrong, and I said, no, you mean Amelia. Yeah, Amelia. Hello, TG. Oh, look, I'm in the camera. Look.
You're a star.
Look at me. La 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 la. I'm so sexy. I'm too sexy from my shirt. Too sexy from my shirt. No, yeah, so sexy it hurts. I'm the undershed. Hello, how are you? I'm Bill Clinton. Wait a minute, I moved my lips on that one. So ask me your question.
Okay.
Before we go. Okay.
So you've got a new girlfriend.
Yep.
You've had some other romantic entanglements.
I'm actually married.
You're married?
Yes, I am.
But how you've got a girlfriend and you're married?
Yeah. I had 3 kids too. Lloyd, Lori, and Luther.
Were they kids or were they
Luther.
eggs?
Yeah, they're kids.
Okay.
Mr. Dimples, what does it feel like to push out an egg?
Oh, yeah, it's so exhilarating, you know? It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's Sheila, can you describe it? I don't know if I can describe it. Yeah,
is it like taking like one of those dumps that goes sideways? That feels like it's coming out sideways.
Nobody needs to.
Can you delete you said that? Yeah, you're gone too far, dude. You know what?
My mistake. I apologize.
There's some things that are really natural, and you know that. See, I eat different things.
Right.
See.
Like what? Taco Bell?
Worms, larvae, and shellfish.
Okay.
Because I don't have any teeth. I don't no teeth.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I got grinders in the deck of my mouth, like a whale.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
You're so interesting, Mr.
I know
Dimples.
that, you know what, and Godzilla
You know
is...
what I just
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so next time you come, I feel like you need to get some like formal attire, like a bow tie or something like that, because
Put that on the list, Sheila. Put it on the
this
list.
is the manly girly show. You need to be.
Too sexy from my shirt.
This
Too
is
sexy from my
basically
shirt.
like you need to save all your best stories. This is like David Letterman, okay?
I know it is. It's like hello, or yeah. Okay. I'll do that next time. Okay.
So you haven't been into, you've been going to some gigs. You got a new girlfriend. The wife feels.
No.
The wife. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
The wife feels okay about it, maybe.
No, she doesn't. She hates it.
She hates
She hates it.
Okay. So, but she hasn't left you.
No, she hadn't left me.
Yeah.
We're Claritos. We don't leave each other.
Right. You mate for life.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get rid of the girlfriend.
You're gonna get rid of the girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm gonna dump her.
Well, she's probably not as good as the wife anyway. The wife
she's just not as good as you're so right, Andy.
Right, she's sitting at home taking care of your eggs.
Oh no, I'm gonna cry. Now you're making me upset. I'm upset.
You could take a page from like an otter's book, and they hold hands while they swim. Do you hold hands with your wife while you swim?
That's utterly amazing. Did you get it? Utterly.
The thing of it is
that good? I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Put that in your repertoire. So maybe if you guys went back to holding hands, you could reignite a little bit of that spark and get that girlfriend experience.
Oh, no. Now I'm going to have to go on the Oprah Winfrey show. No, I'm done.
Does Oprah Winfrey still have a show?
No,
You've been in the bag too long, buddy.
I know. That's in the bag. Lisa, get out of there. She's in the bag. That girlfriend's she's in the bag.
Lisa?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, my goodness. Can we meet her?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay. She stays in the bag.
She's a pretzel.
Yeah, she's a bag wife,
Yeah, that's a case.
Housewife.
So what do you have coming up, Mr. Dimples?
We're gonna go look for a suitcase, because I need this bag is getting old, and Nina Conti does the same thing,
Okay.
So we don't want to do like her, and let's see, we're gonna do at the Neatery.
Okay.
The new dog Neatery.
Okay. Well,
Sheila, gotta work on that Neatery.
So
we're gonna work the meadery, and then maybe there are a couple of open mics that are gonna be
nice.
Well, great. Yeah, we'll have to check them out. Well, we really appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, thank you for coming by.
Some of our favorite guests.
Talk about
my son's favorite, at least.
Yeah, your son. Oh, that's so cool.
He's gonna come visit. Maybe you should be here when he comes to visit, and we can do.
That'd be really cool. He
would love to meet you, Mr. Dimples.
Yeah, okay, that'd be really good.
Mr. Dimples, straight into the camera. Why should people go see ventriloquist comedian, or why they should come see you at a show? This is your camera, Mr. Dimples.
Okay, Sheila, where's the camera at? What am I looking at? Well, you should know that. Okay, you're looking. Let me point you right there. Okay, what's the question again, dude?
Why should it have people come out to see ventriloquist or see you and SHEE-LUH?
And all your friends
that
Joe
may
Biden?
not have seen. What can they expect if nobody's, I feel like Gen Z may not have seen that many ventriloquists or many puppets, like doing comedy. So give them the elevator pitch of why they should come see you.
Because, I'm just so sexy, and, it's just fun. We like to have fun and laugh, and just not take life so seriously. Mm-hmm. Don't take life so seriously. You got it? Okay, that's it. That's it.
That's pretty good.
And we need a nunny. We need a nunny too. We need a nunny. Come on, help us. Síle works at Shoe Lion, okay? For crying out loud.
He needs a new suitcase for God's sake.
I need a new suitcase for crying out loud. Ah!
He's got to keep his girlfriend and his wife in.
No, see, they're not going to do it then. Let's don't say anything about the girlfriend.
Excuse me.
No, not the girlfriend. Let's just...
You're a family man.
I'm a family man. Need a lot of things. That's elderly daughters.
Maybe we'll have to have you... We'll need to have you and Dyson sit down and have an exchange between Mr. Dimples and Dyson about relationships.
Oh, that would be fun.
That
would
be
right?
funny.
Yeah,
that would be fun. So Dyson, you're not Dyson, but I'm gonna pretend that you are. So hey, Dyson, how you doing, dude?
Okay.
Let's go get drunk. Come on.
And pick up girls.
Yeah,
I'm not a very good Dyson. You're gonna have to hang out with Dyson. I think that you obviously you've met him before. You guys have a really good reputation.
I made fun of him too. That was really good.
Yeah.
I teased him. It's called teasing.
It's
called teasing.
Grow some thick skin.
Yeah, grow some thick skin, you son of a biscuit eater.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you both
Síle,
for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Dimples.
I hope she didn't scare you away or something, nothing like that.
No. We love having you here.
Yeah, thank you. Please
thank you for coming on Casa De Thinking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay!
Bye.